Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's so good to see you guys. So today's topic, let's get straight into it, is being too nice is not cute. It's not cute. What made me come up with this topic? I was talking to a friend and I had asked her my biggest pet peeve. And ironically enough, I told her that I hated when people told me that one of their red flags, was it pet peeves? Anyway, I hated when people told me that one of their red flags were that they were too nice. And that in dating, for me, when I heard a man tell me that it just simply meant I don't know how to establish boundaries with people. And that will eventually become an issue in our dynamic because you will most definitely pass second if you're overly understanding. That's what it translates to me. Okay? Now, maybe it's a reach, but that's usually what that means. Okay? When you are too nice and you say, my red flag is being too nice, there is absolutely nothing good about that. Don't even mention that as one of your red flags. Because it's not a red flag. It's a red flag to you. It's a problem to you. It's not what other people are doing to you. And you're saying like, oh, one of my flaws is that I'm too nice. Hello, you just said it. One of your flaws. So stop being nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be limits. And I had made a video that speaks about soft hearts. Now we're talking about big hearts. If you have a big heart, you also need boundaries. It does not matter what type of heart you have. If it's on the gentle side, go ahead and tap them boundaries around it. Having a big heart can be some of the most rewarding, yet draining thing you can have. My grandpa used to have a quote that he repeated to my mom, and my mom repeated to us constantly. Your heart will be the cause of your death. Now, when you hear it, you're like, isn't that human nature? But in the very like metaphoric way that in which he says it, and he used to say in our tribal language, that your heart is going to be the cause of your death. You cannot have a big heart and think that the cause won't be you. It will. That's why you need those boundaries. It's not cute to be overly nice. It's not cute to be overly agreeable. It's not cute to be overly understanding. It's not cute to be overly anything, actually. You need to have caps and regulations on every single one of your emotion. Nobody likes an overly angry person, just like sometimes an overly happy person could be very annoying. No one likes overly. Nobody likes the extreme. That's just the lie that we like to tell ourselves, but nobody likes the extreme. So when you tell people I'm overly too nice, it really does translate, I have a lack of boundaries and I don't know how to say no to people, and I'm recovering from people pleasing tendencies and da 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 da. Again, there's nothing wrong with recovering from being a people pleaser. That's something that's very common, especially in the Black community. Knowing how to say no is super hard as Black women. It's super hard as Black women. It's super hard as women in general. Let me not even put it in a bracket. It's super hard as women in general because we are always raised to grow up to be super agreeable, super amiable, always understanding, always soft. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't question things too much, you know? And so you get to this point where it's like you get overly nice because if somebody asks you something or they tell you something that you don't like, instead of just telling them like, hey, I really don't like what you did, so no, I'm not going to do it, you try to sugarcoat it. You try to land the blow soft. But did you ever come to think that the person that is putting you in such an uncomfortable position never once stopped to ask how that would make you feel? So why are you considering them? That's where you got to establish those boundaries, you know, because I have a rule, because I used to be a people pleaser up until recently. Not too proud of that, but I have a rule that I started implementing around like in the high school when I left the United States and I came back to Europe. Because you gotta have boundaries when you come back to Europe. Like, don't let Europe fool you. People will walk over you if you allow them to walk all over you. So I had implemented this rule that if a person in the room has said something that could potentially make me uncomfortable, I must say something uncomfortable back in order for both of us to be uncomfortable. Because you are not going to make my space feel weird and odd and wary and things as such while you're sitting here bathing in your comfort. Like, you're happy with the things that you have told me. You successfully made me uncomfortable. You've said something that, could probably like ruffle some feathers, and I'm sitting here taking it with a smile, like, oh no, it's okay, like, it's fine, like, don't worry, da 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 da. So you're comfortable while I'm uncomfortable. I'm having to deal internally with emotions that you have triggered out of me. No, that's not what's going to happen, okay? I was nice up until the point that you decided that you were going to make shit weird. You were going to be uncomfortable. You were going to be rude. You were going to be disrespectful. So now I got to show you that as much as a sweetheart as I could be, I could also be your worst nightmare. Not literally. But then comes this like thing where, and I always say people who tend to pick on nice people, I really don't like it. And usually when I see somebody getting picked on and I know that they're an overly nice person, fastest way to set me off, okay? Because I will get mad because you know that that person is not going to tell you anything. But guess who will? I will. Okay? So I never liked it that, but as a too nice of a person, people will always test you and within the first time meeting you. It is important that you place big anchors on what you bound your boundaries and what you deem disrespectful, respectful, correct, not correct. And it doesn't even have to be anything like you cuss a person out or you get overly angry or you go berserky on this person. It has nothing to do with that. It literally just means like, if you tell me something that I feel is uncomfortable, I could literally blank stare you. And I'm sorry, what? Literally, like, let your face speak for you. And for some odd reason, the person, well, it's not odd, but the person across from you, 9 times out of 10, is going to realize like, oh, this is not nobody I could play with. I'm not saying people intentionally do that, but I do think it's a subconscious thing. I do think that people have a tendency of testing out people. We used to have a teacher in my university, and for the sake of this video, we're going to call him Larry. But the people who went to school with me are going to know exactly who I'm talking about. This teacher had this thing where he would pick on students. And based on how you responded to him, would then establish how he would treat you for the rest of the year. There were kids that were, not embracive with him, not direct, not defensive, and he would dog them out. When I said dog them, he would make those kids cry. He no longer works at that university, but he would make those kids cry. He would say some of the craziest things, rudest things. And I remember particularly, I had started the year off with this one white boy that we were pretty close in the beginning. And I remember he had a mouth on him. And that teacher had said something to him. And he was like, well, no. Da, 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 da. He's never picked on that man. Never picked on that man ever again. So I think subconsciously people rank you in who to play with and who I can play with. And you have to be able to put that boundary with them where it's like, hey, as much as a sweetheart as I can be, don't let this pretty face fool you. It has to be one of those things. Boundaries are damn near extremely important, and it's important that you reinforce them to anybody and everybody, whether it's at work, whether it's friends, whether it's family. And usually family is one of the hardest ones to reinforce, because you most 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, you grew up in a household where boundaries were something that damn near were almost never respected. I'm speaking from my experience as like growing up in an African household. What are boundaries? Blank stare. You don't, you, they don't exist in an African household. Boundaries are not something that exists in an African household. So you grow up and these people see you with no boundaries, and when you get of age to start establishing these boundaries, people are looking at you crazy because all you're doing is establishing your boundaries. No, you can't call me at 11 p.m. to sort out paperwork. No, you can't call me to go talk to my brother because he talked to you crazy. No, you can't just randomly ask me to do tasks while I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? Like things where it's like that limited, you gotta you gotta dial back on the access that you're allowing these people to have. I'm just tying this all back because this for me all falls under the bracket of being too nice. It's being too accessible, too sweet, too, you know, too overly understanding. You know, some things are not meant for you to understand, like Jessica said. And you don't have to be that open ear or that, you know, that person that just gets it. Or I'm sorry, as I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about another video that I watched from another YouTuber called Earn Not Given, and he loves to talk about emotional intelligence. I'll try to tag the video down below in my description box. I was gonna say bio. And he said growing up in a house where you are constantly the most needed feels rewarding, but at the same time so taxing. And then you get to a point in your life where the moment that you are not needed, you feel worthless. You feel like you don't belong there. Like you feel like you're doing something wrong, like you're going against your original nature. But you've just been trained to constantly just take people's problem. And then he said something, the moment that you do things for other, you stop them from growing. Then comes that dependency, and then comes the overly nice, overly understanding, overly people pleasing. Oh, I'll do this for you, I'll do this for you. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. It's okay to say no. Okay, it's really okay to say no. And in moments like this, you have to catch yourself and realize like, hey, I can't continue to always be nice to people because look at where it's landing me. The cost is me. The cost is me. So that's what I wanted to talk about for this video today, guys. I hope you guys loved this video, or at least enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you love the video, share it to somebody that you feel like should hear it. And if that person is you, then share it to yourself. So yeah, make sure you leave a comment down below and tell me what you guys think. I love hearing y'all feedback. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, my loves.